me or say, man, that Negro boy. We got to start out for Kwame, you know, owe you apology, you know, for last week because we said about innahu and I said and you said, man, that don't make sense in English. You were absolutely correct. You were absolutely correct. You was the English scholar of the day.
I wasn't on your side.
He wasn't on your side.
I probably wasn't on your side.
Nobody was on your side.
Because we was listening to him. If he said it wasn't right, you're bogus.
But you was absolutely correct. You know, there's no such thing as in the what rarely him or something like that. Yeah, you can't say that. Yeah, that don't make.
What was it? Explain. What happened?
It was just like him was being used like in a.
Right. It should have been he.
Yeah.
It should have been he.
Oh, I remember that now.
Verily
Yeah.
him.
Oh yeah, verily him. Oh, that's on. Verily him.
That's recording.
Yeah, I can pause it if you need me to. Okay, I'll pause.
All right. So you know. So yeah. So she reminded me. Yeah. That I wasn't thinking. But I was just thinking of But So yeah, you're absolutely correct. Okay. All right. What we're gonna do today? We still basically somewhat in our review mode, and we want to try to come on and start easing out of that. Okay. So we done finished how to conjugate the verb totally now. Okay. We done talked about how to conjugate the verb. We done looked at a second form verb, a third form verb, and a fourth form verb. Today, what we're gonna do is before we do, I got to make one more point. Is that when we talk about the attached pronouns, right? We had mentioned last time that when we attach the pronoun, and we talk about specifically now to a verb, because we know an attached pronoun can be attached to any of the word types, be it a noun, right? A particle, and even a verb. And when we attach them to a verb, they take, again, any pronoun will take the place of a noun. So when we attach them to a verb, that attached pronoun is actually the maf'ulun bihi, the recipient of the verb, of the action.
Repeat that again.
The attached pronoun when you attach it to a verb, it's the maf'ulun bihi. Okay. Right? Everybody understand that, right? Everybody understand that, right? Yes. So if we look at our attached pronouns, right? So if we look at, just like looking at them, we know we have who, ha, huma, whom, hunna, right? Third person, right? So you can attach, right? The second person, ka, ki, kuma, kum, kunna, right? And then first person, what are they? What's the attached pronoun for first person? Attach.
Me.
Arabic. I done gave all 10. We only need 2 more.
Yeah. And nah.
That's it. Right? So if we attach these here to a noun, they are as they are. To a particle as they are. But when it comes, with the exception of nah, with the exception of Okay. The yeah, for an example, we can attach this to a noun. Right? So if we had the noun kitab. Right? Plus yeah equals kitabi. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If we take this yeah and we want to attach it to a verb, because we're saying that if we attach it to a verb, it becomes the object of the verb.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the maf'ulun bihi. Right? Everybody with me?
Yes.
Right? So if we take a verb, let's say daraba. Mamana daraba. Mamana daraba. What's the meaning of daraba?
To hit.
To hit.
Strike.
So who hit? Who's the fa'il? He. So he hit. So we want to say he hit me. How do we say that? In Arabic, we can't, the yeah should go directly on here, but we can't put the yeah directly on here. We need something that's going to come between the yeah and that. We need a noon. In this case, so the attached pronoun for yeah takes an additional noon. Right. So we say daraba plus yeah, it becomes
darabni.
Darabani.
Darabani.
Okay? That noon. We call this in Arabic the noon of protection. Because why? Think about the first thing we learned about in Arabic. What do we say about the verb in Arabic? It doesn't take a what? yeah forces what to come out?
Kesser.
And the verb don't take kesser.
Or tanween kesser. Okay.
Right? Right. So we can't say, if we say this here, we can't say darabi. Because a verb doesn't take kesser. Right? Right. The past tense verb is always mutni. Okay? But that doesn't matter whether it's a past tense verb or a present tense verb. The point is, yeah and kesser are compatible. So the verb needs something, so you will know that that's the end of the verb, and this is the attachment now. Okay? So with the verb, you can't use the yeah alone. It has to be used with the noon. So the pronoun, so we say yeah if it's a noun or a particle, and for a verb, need. That's the pronoun now. And the yeah is still the attached pronoun, but the noon we call noon of protection. In English, we call it noon of protection. Okay? So darabani. Let's say, let's give another verb. Let's say, that's really it. So it's the same me, right? Not yeah by itself, but ni, noon plus the yeah. The same me. Okay?
Is that only on the first verse? That's not on the first verse.
Right, that only happens for the same me. Right? The same me is noon plus the yeah. Okay? And that's the only additional thing in terms of with the attached pronouns that we didn't mention last time. Okay? All right? Everybody got that? All right. Okay. Okay. Today's date is the 24th?
Yes.
Okay, make sure you put the date on today.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Yeah, make sure, because you're going to have to go back to it. Okay? Right, I can erase this?
Yeah.
Okay. Everybody have the dictionary?
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to do some dictionary drills.
I got one.
What's that? What you need? Okay. All right. For right now, just write them down, and then we'll go over them. Okay. So the first verb, hadad. Ha, dal, aleph, maksura. Afa. Tawalla. Baraka. A'ata. Waqa. Qada. Dhalla. Walla. azza, ada, tabaraka, ta'ala. Should have 12. اثنان ثلاثة أربعة خمس 13. We should have. That's right. We should have 13 verbs. Okay. Okay. Anybody have them? Okay. There's a few things we're going to get out of these words. One is we've gone over for forms 1, of course, 2, 3, and 4. We're going to also get forms 5 and form 6. Okay, so we're going to get forms 5 and 6 today, inshallah. Okay? So when we have them, then we're going to go and proceed. Okay? What we're going to do first is that we're going to go down. All right, when you have a verb, although the masdar, we want to, when we first learn a verb, these are all past tense verbs. Okay? What we have to condition ourselves, get in the habit of, when we want to learn a verb, learn past, present, imperative. Right? Well, the imperative, once you learn your present tense, then you can form your imperative. But you also learn how to extract your masdar, okay, from the dictionary. So that's what we want to do. So we're going to try to hopefully try to get these done as quickly as possible so then, these can make sense for us, okay? So if everybody have them, we're going to make some general statements before we actually get into these verbs. Okay, everybody have them? Everybody wrote them down?
What's that second one?
Ain, Aleph, Fa, Alif Maksura. Afa. Okay? Everybody have them? Hada, Afa, Tawalla, Baraka, A'ata, Waqa, Qada, Dhalla, Wala, Azza, Ada, Tabaraka, Ta'ala. Okay? All right. Let me start out first by saying, let's talk about forms 5 and 6 first. Okay, let's talk about forms 5 and 6. Okay? When we go back and think about form 2, what's the characteristic of form 2? Shadda on the second letter. Right? So if the form is fa'ala, right? That's the regular verb, fa'ala. Okay? That's the verb, fa'ala. Okay? Right? In order to make this a form 2 verb, what do we have to do? Put a shadda, right, on ayin. So we come here. Right? So we have shadda. Okay? All right? So it becomes fa'ala. If you want to make this third form, what would we do to make it third form? Aleph where? On the fa. So the fa is going to take an aleph. Good. Right? Fa. Right? That makes it third form. Okay? In order to get fourth form, what do we have to do? To make fourth form. Very good. Hamza. Right? Only verb that begins with a true Hamza in terms of a form, right? So it's a Hamza. Okay, right? Right? Everybody with me? Okay? Right? We're going to bypass the first form for a moment. Let's just review right quick the second form. Look, second, third, and fourth form. We want to talk about the present tense. The thing about the present tense for these forms, for 2, 3, and 4, is that the prefix vowel is going to be a what? What's the vowel going to be for the prefix vowel?
Yeah.
Dhamma. Right? For first form, the prefix vowel is a fata, followed by sukun. And then you go to the dictionary to find out what the middle vowel is going to be.
Oh.
Right? For regular verb. Everybody with me? Sister Vera? Yeah. Right? So for form 1, everybody, again, because this is still a review for us. For form 1, right, there's no set pattern for form 1. In order, right, that's why you go to the dictionary to find out what the vowel is going to be in the present tense. But for forms 2, 3, and 4, there's a set pattern. Once you learn the pattern, that's what it is, no matter what the verb is. Everybody understand? So you don't need to learn what the vowel sequence is going to be. Once you learn the sequence, that's it. So for form 2, 3, and 4, how do you make the present tense? No matter what the verb is, what the form is in the present tense, you need a prefix letter. What are the prefix letters?
Yeah.
Hamza.
Yeah.
Hamza.
Yeah.
Hamza.
Ta.
Hamza.
Noon.
Noon.
Ta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ta. Those are the prefix letters. So a verb in the present tense must be prefixed with one of these letters. Be it a Hamza, be it noon, be it yeah, or ta. That's a given. Everybody with me, right?
Yes.
Okay, so in the present tense for form 1, once we prefix, and we're using yeah because yeah goes with fa'ala. So we're going to say this here. Okay? For form 1, the sequence is this. The prefix letter is going to take a fata followed by sukun. But we still don't know what the vowel is on the ayin. That's why you go to the dictionary, so it tells you what vowel goes on the ayin. That's why you need the dictionary. Now that verb, form 1 is finished. With the exception of, we have at least 6 possible combinations for this verb. Remember? Everybody remember? We have at least 6 possible combinations for this verb. Between the past and the present, there's 6 possible combinations. Okay? That's why, so it's no set pattern. It's nothing telling you that it's going to be this. Each verb has to be learned individually. And once you learn them, then you can probably group them. But the best thing is just learn it. Right? Just learn it. And then you can, like I said, after you muster up enough verbs, then you can probably put them in categories. Okay, this verb is from that category. This verb is from that category. But initially, the only way is the old-fashioned way, learning. Okay? So that's form 1. Let's move form 1 out of the way. Let's talk about forms 2. But before we talk about form 2 specifically, let's make a general rule. For forms 2, 3, and 4, we know all the verbs have to begin with a prefix letter, right? Mm-hmm. So we're going to, again, use the yeah, right? Okay? Now, for forms 2, 3, and 4, the vowel for the prefix letter, unlike form 1, what's the vowel for the prefix letter?
Fata.
A fata. For 2, 3, and 4, it's not a fata, it's a dhamma. All right? For 2, 3, and 4, it's the prefix vowel takes dhamma. Okay? And that's it. So now, the rest of the voweling, for 2, 3, and 4, again, we're talking about general now, that the vowel before the last is always going to be kesera. Right? So that we already know that now. All right? So what vowel is missing that we didn't put in yet? For 2, 3, and 4. What vowel is missing? The vowel for the fa. Now, how do we know what vowel goes on the fa? Whatever it was in the past tense, it transfers over. So what is it here? It's a fatha, so it comes back to fatha. Long aleph, and we already have it in there. Long aleph. You see it?
Right.
Okay? It's a sukoon here, so sukoon comes back here in the fourth form. You see? And just for GP, just to satisfy my curiosity, yufa'i, what am I going to put here? Dhamma. How come? That's default, right? We have to change it. If we want to make it, we can make it something else, right? Yufa'ilu, yufa'ilu, yuf'ilu. Everybody, see how you make the present tense for 2, 3, and 4. It's a set pattern. Once you learn the pattern sequence, that's it, no matter what the verb is. Unlike Form 1, 6 possible combinations for this. But for Form 2, 3, and 4, once you learn this, what's the sequence? Come on, by the numbers. The prefix that is going to take what vowel? Dhamma. And the vowel before the last? Kesra. And that's it. And then whatever vowel was on here, so that's why we brought the fatha back over in the second form. We brought the aleph from the, right? And then we brought the sukoon for the fourth form. And that's it. Once you start doing it, then it won't seem like it's separate steps. It'll just happen, okay? Okay. So in writing this here, so I'm going to actually put that kesra now, under the kesra now, under the shadda, right where it should be, because we can put it, but just under here. That's how we actually write it, right? So fa'ala yufa'ilu, right? Fa'ala yufa'ilu. Af'ala yuf'ilu. And that's it. Now when we want to make our imperative, we want to form our imperative. What do we have to do? We talk about for 2, 3, and 4. Okay? First of all, looking at these verbs in the present tense, do you think we're going to need hamzatul wasl? What's the criterion to determine if we need hamzatul wasl? Huh? The fa, right? And with the exception of the fourth form. Look at, right? So we don't need hamzatul wasl. Why? Because the original first letter has a vowel on it. So we remove our prefix marker, which is the ya. Right? We're going to remove them now. And whatever is left, that's your imperative verb. And you make sure that the verb ends in sukoon. Mabni ala sukoon. So let's fa'ala yufa'ilu. Second form.
Oh, fa'al.
Fa'il. Fa'il. See it? Okay? Fa'ala yufa'ilu. Fa'il. Right? There's no need for hamzatul wasl because the fa has a vowel on it. Now for Form 4, the note here, it retains its true hamza in both the past, in the imperative, and in the masdar. And for Form 1, it retains its true hamza in the past, the imperative, and in the masdar. So, it's af'ala now, yuf'ilu. So now, we're going to bring back the hamza now in the imperative. Af'il. Okay? That's it. Af'il. So the imperative now becomes af'il. That's the fourth one. Okay? All right? Okay? There we have it. The only thing we just bypassing now, we're not going to go into the masdar now. Okay? We're not going into the masdar. So everybody, that's how we form 2, 3, and 4. So what we want to do, we want to talk today about 5 and 6. Okay? Form 5 is built from Form 2. Form 5 is built from form 2. All right? What did we just say?
Form 5 is built from form 2.
And form 6 is built from form 3. Okay? So all we're doing just staying in order. So if you know how to do 2 and 3, and 4 of course, but 2 and 3, in order to do 5 and 6, we build forms 5 and 6 from knowing how to do 2 and 3. And both of them, meaning both of them forms 5 and 6. Look at the verb. Let me put all the vowels in here. Fa'ala. Fa'ala. Form 5, see form 2? What makes it form 2? We have the shut on the second letter. What made it form 3?
Aleph.
Aleph after the first letter. All right? So we're saying this here. 5 and 6 are built from 2 and 3. They almost look alike. The difference is this, however. Forms 5 and 6, at the beginning of the verb, we're going to add an additional ta. At the beginning of 5 and 6, it starts with an additional ta, and you keep the same verb in the past tense. So 5 then is going to be this. I'm going to write what we adding additional in red. So it's ta, fa'ala, tafa'ala. Okay, tafa'ala. That's form 5. Okay. Tafa'ala. Okay. Everything is fata. See? Everything is fata. See? It looks almost like 5 too, except that we have an additional ta in the beginning of it. Okay? All right, everybody with me?
Yes.
Okay? We're gonna come to the present tense mode. Let's go ahead and get the past tense out of the way. So now we want to get form 6. What do form 6 look like? We know we have to start with an additional ta. And we're going to copy the same verb from the third form. So, tafa'ala. See? Tafa'ala. See it? Everybody see it?
Yes.
5 and 6. Past tense. Okay? All right? We want to go to the present tense now. What do we need for the present tense verb? What's the first thing we need for a present tense verb? Prefix marker. Be it hamza, nun, ya, or ta. Right? So we know that already. So we're going to, of course, being that we're going to follow suit, we're going to use the ya now. Right? Because why? Because tafa'ala, any one of them, if we was talking about actual meaning, all of them would relate to he. And ya means he for the prefix markers. Right? If I wanted to say Hamza, Hamza would give what meaning? Nun would give what meaning? Ta would give what meanings? You or she. Right? We happen to be using he. All right. Everybody ready? Can't get no easier. It can't get no easier. Watch. For 5 and 6, we already know how to do 2, 3, and 4. For 5 and 6, everything stays fata. Everything stays fata. There you go. The verb on the end, come on, it's modified. It has to be, right? Yatafa'alu. 6 form. Yatafa'alu. Can't get no easier. It really can't. Everything stays fata. We know that the present tense verb is marfu, right? It can be mansub, whatever, or majzum. So, look, past tense, look. Tafa'ala. Present tense now. I'm just going to write everything in one color. Prefix marker. The ta. And now our verb. See? Everything stays fata. Yatafa'alu. Can't get no simpler. Right, Ali?
Yes.
Yatafa'alu. Everybody see?
Yes.
We didn't change anything. All we just manipulating the vowels. Right, see it? Sixth form. Right? Past tense, tafa'ala. I want to make the present tense now for it. So, yatafa'alu. Right? Yatafa'alu. Right, see it? 5 and 6 very easy to make. Why? Because they come from 2 and 3. And all we're doing is adding at the beginning of that verb a ta. Retain fata all the way across. Past and present. And we should already know by now that the present tense verb is subject to i'rab. So you can't put a fata on here unless we was making it mansub, of course. Right? Yatafa'alu. Yatafa'ala. Yatafa'al. Right? Okay? Okay. Why are we here? So, if that's the case, everybody with me? All right? I want us to think about, based on what we've been doing, think about now our imperative for 5 and 6. Let's talk about 5 now. Do we need Hamzatul Wasl? No. Why not? Right? So once we take off our prefix marker, right, the letter ta has a vowel, so there's no need for Hamzatul Wasl. It can't get no easier. It really can't. And you know that the imperative verb is mabni ala what? Sukun. The imperative verb da'iman ends in sukun. So, the imperative for form 5 will be what? Tafa'al. For form 6? Tafa'al. Can't get no easier. Ali, you all right?
No. Explain that again to me, please.
Okay. What you want to explain?
The imperative for both of them. For both of them.
Drop the go ahead. Drop the prefix mark.
Drop the prefix mark. Which is on both of them, right?
And then what's left?
Leave everything the same.
You're not changing it.
And the second.
Because why? Because the rule for the imperative is what? Is mabni ala sekun. So you have to put sekun on it.
Understood. I just wanted to make sure I was understanding.
That's it. Okay. All right. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Kwan?
Yeah, I got that. Just to go back a little bit on the fourth form, the present tense was yuf. For 2, 3, and 4, the vowel before the last is always kesra. Right. The vowel before the last, this is the last letter, right? The vowel before it has to be kesra for 2, 3, and 4. Right. And then
the last vowel, come on, it has to be marfu. So yuf'ilu. It can be mansub. What is it if it's mansub?
Okay.
Yuf'ila majzum. Okay. Present tense verb is subject to i'rab, right? So that's, if you notice my styles, just so you know, we mentioned things early on, so now we don't have to go over, I mean, it's okay for a question, but it's just something passing. It's just, because we already established the requirements. We already talked about how to make the imperative for it. Someone have to keep reteaching it over and over again. It's all we're doing is just building on. It's just like math. Once you learn how to add and subtract, then now you're ready for what? Multiplication and division. But if you don't learn how to add, you're never going to learn how to multiply. If you don't learn how to subtract, you're not going to learn how to divide. That's the basis for math. Those 4 things right there. And once you have that, then you can go into more complicated